How you doing? Here we are, Friday afternoon. Busy week this week. A lot on the go. I closed a sale in Milford in my own listing, 229. Closed one in Shuby for 159, I think it was, and we got financing approved on a little house in Shuby for 75.5. So it was a pretty busy week. And plus, I did an appraisal on a duplex up in Pictou, a big house with 10 patio doors, if you can imagine that, up in Musquodoboit Valley. And they did an appraisal down in Maitland and another one over in Middle Musquodoboit. So I had a busy week this week. But anyways, that's my ongoing. This is video number 2 of Nova Scotia real estate. And what I'd like to talk about in this video is the basics of buying a home, right? You can, when you decide to buy a house, right? If you're a first-time buyer or you're selling a house and buying a house, there's a lot of different circumstances, right? But either way, you're dealing with the market that's going on at the time in the location that you're in. And I wanted to explain to you that there's three different markets that you can find yourself in. The ideal one, if you're buying a house, is a buyer's market. Buyer's market means the buyers have the upper hand. So basically what that means, there's a lot of listings available and not a lot of buyers, right? So you can shop and pick. And I always tell everybody there's 2 types of people selling their property. There's the type of person, I'll sell it if I get enough money, or I need to sell it. And when you're buying, you're going to get a better buy from somebody that needs to sell, obviously. The other side of the coin, the other market that you can have going on is a seller's market. Seller's market means there's more buyers than sellers, not enough listings, and that's when you get competing offers and buyers chasing the listing inventory. And the third market is, of course, the one in the middle, which is a balanced market where there's lots of buyers and lots of listings, and the market flows along without too much stress, right? It's just a well-balanced market. In most cases, that market is determined by local circumstances. If you have a new factory opening up in your town and they're hiring a bunch of people, and you may have demand and be in a seller's market. If you have the factory closing down in your town and a lot of people moving out, putting their homes on the market, you could be in a seller's market. Or you could have the factory operating, it's been in business for years, nice payroll coming into the community, lots of buyers, lots of sellers, and you have a well-balanced market. So the market that you're in determines a lot of what's going to take place when you are buying a house, right? Most people do most of their research on the internet. There's quite a bit of opinions, or different opinions about how valuable a realtor is to your home buying efforts. I find our real estate industry today talks a lot about agency, getting an agent to work for you as a buyer's agent. I find most people haven't really bought into that. They search online until they see something they like and call a listing agent, right? So and they kind of resist making a commitment to an agent and don't see the value in having an agent represent them. A lot of that hinges on, the qualifications and the ability of the agent that you pick. It's no different than any other profession. There are lots of agents out there with lots of experience and bring a lot to the table. Some without a lot of experience, but lots of enthusiasm. Maybe that's what you'd rather have. It's really, if you decide to work with an agent, it's really what you want from that agent that matters most, and you decide that, right? It doesn't hurt to meet with a few different agents and decide who you think can help you the most, right? but an agent can be a great help in your search, right? Number one, they know the market. When they're showing you another company's listing, they're actually working for you, which and can bring all their skills to bear to help you negotiate the best terms, because the seller has their agents that's representing them. But if if it happens to be their listing and they're dealing with you and dealing with the vendor, the agency circumstance, that could be a transaction brokerage where basically the agent puts himself in a neutral position and just facilitates a transaction. Uh, every circumstance is different. Every real estate brings its own different set of problems, and the experience is quite often the key in solving those problems if you have a good agent working for you. Of course, the different types of property, right? You could be buying a duplex and want to live in one side and rent the other side out. You could be buying, a single family home in a subdivision where you have municipal water and sewer. You could be buying a house in the country with lots of privacy, and there you have to deal with on-site well and septic. Each one is a different circumstance, and when you're actually going through the due diligence, you've made your offer, come to terms. You want to check out the things that apply to the property that you're buying. I often tell people, I don't think we really sell real estate. We help people find what they want, and the real estate sells itself. And then we help people solve all the problems that come along with actually buying the real estate, right? You know, when you first start, you can get a good agent and tell the agent what you want. They'll search all the listings. They'll find the listings they'll send you listings that suit you. You can drive by and eliminate or pick the ones you want to see. Investigate a little more and then narrow it down, and then actually go house hunting. You go through the homes and decide which one suits you the best, and then you narrow it down, decide on the one that's yours. That's when it comes time to make an offer. I always tell everybody the same thing. If you're interested in a home, figure out what it's worth to you. Don't make your best offer first, and you might end up where you want to be. And ask for everything. There's a lawnmower or whatever you think you'd like to have thrown in. If you don't ask for it, you won't get it. If the seller doesn't want to leave it, they don't have to leave it. So the important thing is to ask, right? And the things that you look at are, could be a ride-on lawnmower, could be, curtains, drapes, and rods, could be the fridge and stove, washer and dryer, right? The built-ins, the ones that are built-in are considered to be fixtures. One of the things that's a big bite on closing is if it's oil heat. If you don't negotiate something different, the seller will fill the barrel, and you have to pay for a full barrel of oil on closing. That's $1,000. And if you're buying in midsummer, why tie up $1,000 in the oil barrel till you need it in the winter, right? So if there's a quarter of a barrel left, ask them to throw it in. No fuel adjustment on closing, and you don't have to deal with that. Seller doesn't have to spend the money to fill it up. They throw a little bit in on the closing, but you also don't have to come up that extra $1,000 to pay for the oil on closing. So that's just something, one little tip, right? There's lots of things that go with it. I don't prepare when I do these videos. I just talk off the cuff. But you can see where a realtor can come in handy when you're trying to find a home, buy a home, and negotiate terms that you're happy with. That's video number 2. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. It's Friday, TGIF, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.